What's up, everybody? Jay Leone back here today. Um, First off, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a good new year. I am finally back, and we should be back on a roll now. Everything seems to be getting in finally. I'm having a great new year, partially because of one thing. This guy arrived, the Kayfun V4 clone, which is very satisfying at the moment. We'll get into that in a minute. I did pick the contest winner for that contest that I ran. Was it a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago now, maybe? I selected a winner. I sent the winner an email. You can check the last video for the name because I don't have the name pulled up of who won. But I did send you an email, so if you did get the email, please respond back with your shipping address so I can ship you your items. If not, I'll give you 1 week from today, and we'll maybe just do it again, or pick the second name off that list. I think I saved that list, so just so you know, I'll put your name in the description below. So look for your name down there. If that's your name, check your inbox on YouTube because I sent you an email. So that's that. Thank you for all of you who have entered. Again, we will do many more giveaways. We always do. But it's not about that at all today. It's not about that. It's about the Kayfun V4. So, you know what? Let's stop talking and let's get to it. This is the clone from Tobeco.
You're the next one, and nothing to kill. You don't believe it, but I'm betting that you will.
And I forgot to mention, or you probably already noticed, we're in a different area once again. Another delay in the process of my life. We moved again, this time to a second-story apartment in the same building just because of noise reasons. Not noise like disturbances, but it's a creaky building, and this way we have nobody above us, so that's nice. And I've also got a better setup for this webcam and this computer and everything because the lighting is so much better. It's not facing a window anymore. There's that window way back there, but that's a patio door actually. So I have a nice new light in front of me here, which the lighting seems good. Let me know. Does it look good or does it look better? At least it's not so dark and dingy in here. So you may have noticed that before we get to this review. I was going to mention it at the beginning, but I didn't, so there it is. Anyways, the Kayfun V4 clone from Tobeco. This came out rather quick. The Kayfun V4 original did not come out that long ago. Maybe a month ago, maybe a little more than that. Yeah, and then the clone was released like a week after that. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, ugh, there's going to be problems with this motherfucker. No, actually. There are problems with it, of course, but not nearly as bad as I thought would be. I got this from VaporTechUSA.com. They were running a pre-order on it for... I don't like pre-orders because I don't like waiting, but for this, I would wait. It was 29 bucks. It was 29 bucks, and they included a free bell cap, too. I have to go grab that. It's in my kitchen. I forgot to show that in the up-close segment because I shot that already, so... yeah, they include that the bell cap. I'll show it to you, though. Anyways, for 29 bucks with I think like $2 shipping, so it was like $3 shipping, so it was $32. Took about 3 weeks to get here from China to them, then them to me, so about 3 weeks. Wasn't bad, but it was a pre-order, and I think they're still running a pre-order, and there's a lot of other places that are running pre-orders on them because as of now they're not really easy to get your hands on because China's in their New Year month off that they take in January. But there are vendors still doing the pre-order, and actually I saw some on eBay that were, I had them in stock, and I saw some on eBay for 25 bucks. So, yeah, go check that out if you really want to get your hands on this. And again, Tobeco makes it. Together Best Cooperation, I think is what it stands for. And let me take a date. And I am shocked with the performance of this. I really am. Was not expecting this at all. I was expecting, honestly, a piece of junk that I was just gambling on. But we're going to be doing a lot of talking in this video. So let's go down and let's do the up-close segment. And you can see all the pieces. And I mean, there's tons of pieces. and I will ramble and I will fumble because, again, I've had this for like 2 days, so not much time with it. But I figured let's do a first impression / review, and then we'll come back in a month after I've used it for a month with a vlog, and we'll update everything from there and see if anything has changed. So let's go download. Alright, everybody, so here is the Kayfun V4 clone from Tobeco. Together Best Cooperations, I believe what Tobeco stands for. Here is the box. I'm trying to fit it all on screen. I got all the parts pulled apart here, and I'll go through them all. So, this is the wonderful packaging it comes in. It's just a standard cardboard presentation box. You could see all 3 tank styles here. You got the all stainless. You got the what do you want to call that? Polycarbonate tank right here, and then you got the glass window right on this one. But I'll show you all 3 looks. It's going to be a long up close segment here. It's, like I said, it says Tobeco Kayfun 4, and then if you open it up, you'll see the tank here, and then the stainless steel portion of the window if you want to use that, and the Kayfun comes sitting down below. You don't get, which is one of my negatives, any spare O-ring screws, things of that nature. I wish they would have included it, and I think they will in later versions of this. They give you a spare spring. That's all. The only spare you're going to get with this is a spare spring. So yeah, that's the only spare they're giving you. Let me get this stuff out of the way. That's the packaging. I mean, it's going to come assembled, obviously. I took it apart so I can show you all the different pieces and everything. Yeah, I can't. Alright, anyways. I'm not worrying about the names of these parts. I'll just go through and do my thing. Let me get these all centered up here, so they're kind of in the center of the screen. Don't want to knock them over. Took me a while. I had it all built, and I was vaping it for a couple days. Not really a couple days. It was only like 2 days now. So, take in mind that this is a 2-day review. I've used it for 2 solid days. I will do a vlog later on at the end of the month, like I usually do now, and I'll update what's been happening with it and if there's any problems reported. But as of now, this is kind of my first look / early review of it, and we'll go through everything here, and I'll tell you a couple of the problems as we go through these parts. You're gonna have your drip tip right here, which, let me do this the right way. Let's see if we can get the focus to work, because autofocus ain't gonna work, sure as hell. There we go. You see the drip tip here. It's got a double O-ring. It's got this line design that goes all the way around it, these lines, which I actually think it's a nice looking drip tip. And it's, yeah, there's the bore on it if you want to see that. It's a nice drip tip. I personally like it. Then you're going to have this section here, which is actually where your drip tip's going to sit in. All 510 drip tips will work in here. No problem. Then you got this here, self-explanatory. It's the top cap. You got a single O-ring up top. Threading on here is very, very nice. I have no complaints about the threading whatsoever. Like I said, this will thread in, and I'll show you how it all goes together as we go. Actually, you know what? Let's kind of assemble it as we go. So, like I said, this is where the drip tip's going to pop in. And I just washed everything, so all the O-rings are dry now, so everything's really tight, but they all fit in there very good. So that's that. Then you got the top cap here. I'm doing this ass backwards, and this just screws in there. You can see how smooth that is there. Very, very smooth. And actually, there is an O-ring up in this little area here, just so you know. So that all goes together like that, and that is the top portion of the Kayfun. That there. This knurled nut here. You can really see it very well, but it is a knurled nut, and it's got these, like, I don't know, flat spots, I would call them, and then it's round. So, and also, the main purpose of this ring, I should say, the main purpose of this ring is the fact that it holds the tanks in and everything tight. So it's a very important piece. We'll put that in at the end because that holds everything together. Your tank sections. Here is the top portion of it. You can see all these holes here. That's for filling. You can just fill through those holes, or you can even just dump your juice on top of them, is what I like to do. This portion here is the top section, and then this is the inner section, which has an O-ring all around here. And then you have, well, the tank I chose to use is the glass tank here. Glass window, I should say, just because I like to see my juice, and I like the look of it. I don't want to disturb the look too much. And we'll get into juice capacity, because every tank is going to hold a different juice capacity. I'll show you the other tanks here. This is the plastic tank here. It's a frosted tank, and I know in the original it is a clear plastic. This is a frosted plastic. This would be equivalent to like the M tank on the old Kayfun. So you get that option, and then you also obviously have this option here. I like this look the best, but I like to see my juice, so I can't really go with this look. It says Flow Mesto. It's got some nice lines cut there. It kind of looks like the Pro Veri. These lines remind me of the new P3. So yeah, no threading on it. It's just a little window section. Not really a window, but stainless steel piece. And also, it's made of 304 stainless steel. All the pieces are 304 stainless steel. And I'll get into some other things that are different here, but anyways, those are 3 tanks you get to choose from. For this one, we're going to be using the glass, but I'll show you all 3. Here's the bottom section. You have the glass, which is, not the glass, the O-ring again around here, because the actual glass or whatever tank you use sit on these O-rings. And then on the top, same thing. So the O-rings keep it from cracking, and it's all held together by that top screw, which we'll show you later. So those all go kind of like that. And then let's get all this out of the way and focus on these sections here. Yeah, it's the fun stuff. Let's start with the build deck. The build deck here, it's going to be very familiar. I have a coil in there. I just don't feel like installing a new coil. You're going to have 4 Phillips head screws here. And then you're going to have these 2 holes here in the bottom deck of each side. Let's see if I can get this focus a little bit better on this one. Okay. So yeah, 4 screws and 4 holes. You can do a dual coil on here if you want. I've seen people do it. Mainly, it's meant for a single coil, but you can squeeze in 2 little dual coils in here. But mainly the 4 screws are for doing multiple, you know, so you can get the coil. It's just easier to mount the coil. You can mount them in a diagonal, which is what I did. I did this screw and this screw. You could do them parallel here, so these 2 screws here. It just gives you more options. And then the 2 holes here is actually where juice is going to flow up and hit your wicks. So you want your wicks sitting right on this deck here, kind of like the old Kayfun. You know, it just, the holes are here and there's no channel. Like in the old Kayfun, you had the channel here. Now you have these 2 holes on each side, which is where your wicks want to be sitting. You don't want to block them, but you want to sit them on top of there. And then you have the airflow adjustment. This is the airflow adjustment. I'll show you how you get to that later, but it's just an airflow adjustment screw. Use a flathead and you turn it to your liking and adjust your airflow. It's one of the negatives on this, which we'll get into later. There's a lot to cover here. So yeah, that's the build deck. Just press something on my keyboard. Yeah. And then you have, oh, we're going backwards. The bottom of the bell, I should say. This would have been the very familiar bell piece. You would have this piece, and then you would have the bell that's screwed onto here, which had the chimney going up. This is just like the wall, I would call it. And this just screws right on here after you get your build and your cotton in. This screws right on, just like that. Very familiar, very familiar. So that goes like that. Then you got this interesting bell. This is the bell now. This is very interesting. It's got your slow, whatever, Mesto's logo right there. I kind of like it. Kind of looks nice, honestly. You have threads up at the top here. You can see those. And that's going to hold everything together. You'll see when we get there. Just an interesting looking chimney here. And then you're going to see these holes here. All these holes going around. I think there's 6 of them. Yeah, there's 6 of them. That is going to be how juice is going to be fed to your coil. That has to do with opening and closing of juice flow control, which I'll explain also as we continue to go in. I'm just showing you the parts right now. The juice actually will come from here. Get a better angle. Come, into these little pips here. These pips have holes in them. I don't know if you can see those holes, but there are holes in these pips. And those holes go all the way through here. And what happens is, I can't show you until it's all assembled actually. I will show you though. Alright, and this is your base here. So we're going to put this all together. I would only have stripped it down because there's an issue here that I want to show you. And I want to show you how to correct the issue if this happens to you on your Kayfun cologne. This is the base here. It's got a little plastic insulator in here. It does come out, but I can't seem to get it out right now. You have 510 threading here, which is all very smooth. Threads onto anything you want. There's also an insulator inside here, which is also stuck for me. You're going to take these 2 sections here. This is where, let's fix this here. There we go. This section here has got 4 airflow holes, which is actually where your airflow is coming in from. And it's a nice smooth airflow. I love the airflow on this. And that just goes right on top of here, just like that. And then you're going to take this section. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's not. Alright, anyways. This section here, and that's just going to plop right in there. Like so. Those all 3 are just sitting in there. And then you're going to take this little fucker here, which is actually the root of the problem. This little guy here, which is a slotted nut basically. And that's going to drop right in to here. And it's kind of a bitch to drop it in. And you don't have to do this unless you're experiencing the wobble or you really want to clean your tank out. So yeah, that drops in just like that. And then you're going to take, in my case, a flathead, or in everybody's case, I don't know why I said in my case. What I meant to say is in my case, I'm using the wrong flathead for this because I don't have a big one on me. And just tighten her up. Alright, so we're all tightened up. Just make sure she's nice and tight, because when you do get it, it is, from what I've seen in a couple of these Tobeco clone reviews, come loose on all of them. So if you do have this wobble issue, which I'll show you what I'm talking about later, make sure you do this, tighten that screw up, just because it's just ever so loose and it just spins and it causes everything to just be loose. So once that's in there, you take this little piece here with the like a Durlin insulator on it of what some sort. Amen. There we go. Some Durlin on the side here, Durlin on the bottom. The Durlin, the part with the Durlin on the bottom just drops in. Boom, it just drops in like that. It's a squared nut. And then you're going to take your 510, which this is right here. This 510 pin is silver, I believe it's silver plated copper, because I did scrape some of it off, and there's a little bit of copper showing. You probably can't really see it, but maybe you can, showing through there. And it is an adjustable 510. That just goes into the bottom here, and we will just tighten her up. And then what you're going to need to do, and now it seems like a lot here, but it's really not once you play with it. Take something and push it in the other end to hold the pin, because it likes to spin. So then, like I said, I just had an issue, and the plastic insulator came out, so I had to push that back in. But anyways, put that 510 in there. And if you don't hold it with something on the other end, it's just going to keep spinning and never lock. You have to just put some pressure on this nut here, which I'm going to. Like so. Just put something on. You could use pliers. I'm just using another flathead to hold that nut down so it can catch the threads, which it is. You can see it's going in. And then you can let that go. And once it catches, it'll just start tightening up. Boom. Nice and tight. And 510 on this, all the way tightened. We'll sit out. You can see that. Just a bit. There you go. Just a bit out, which actually seems to be perfect for all my devices without having to do much adjusting. So that's that. And now the wobble I am talking about. You'll be able to sort of see it here already. You see this? Up and down wobble, side to side. It's supposed to spin. That has to do with juice flow. We'll talk about that later. So this wobble here. You would get this wobble when it's fully assembled and everything's tightened down. You would still get this wobble. You only get this wobble now that I've tightened that screw when it's not fully assembled. When I fully assemble it, this is going to be gone. But if you have this wobble when the tank is fully assembled, you must tighten that little circle slotted nut that I showed you in there, because it will be loose. That is why it does this side-to-side play. So to fix it, just tighten that little round slotted nut in there, and then this will be gone. But this will not happen when it's fully assembled if it's all tightened up the correct way. So that's a major con, because somebody has to go on and figure that. There was a reviewer out there. I wish I could give him credit because I don't remember his channel anymore. But he did the review on it, and he showed the resolution for it. So his credits to him, not to me. Yeah, then this silver-plated spring will go right in there. And, okay, a lot of the painful stuff's out of the way. And then we're actually going to take our deck here, our build deck. And that just pops in here. It's squared, so... boom, that'll pop in just like that. You know what, let me zoom out because I'm too close. Alright, so that'll pop in like so. And let's take this off. Let's fix this. There we go. So that is like that. And then basically what we're going to do is just tighten this bottom area here. You can just hold it and tighten that bottom area. It's going to bring it in. We're going counterclockwise right now. You can see that build deck moving down into it. Lowering that build deck as we do this. So we're turning it counterclockwise. Boom. And in this position, actually, it is fully open. Fully open. And if you turn it clockwise... what I like to do is I grab the knurling, and I'll show you this up top too, and just turn this bottom section. I'm turning it clockwise, and that is opening. You can see the build deck. It's hard to see because my fat fingers are in the way, but the build deck is coming up. And if you turn it counterclockwise, the build deck will drop in, which will open up the juice flow control. And I'll explain more about the juice flow control and what really is more of an on-off valve, to be honest with you. But anyways, we'll keep it fully open at this point, and we'll assemble the rest of the tank. Actually, no. Hold on. Let me wick it. I'm not going to wick it on camera because, like I said, you just put the cotton down lay it on those two holes there, and you're good. I'll be right back. Alright, and then something I forgot to mention is how this juice is flowing in. So now these pips here are holes. And the juice is going to come down these holes when your juice flow is open, and then come right out these bottom holes. And your chimney is going to be sitting right over here. And then once the juice goes through those holes, it's going to be hard to see. Let's see if we can get it close enough. I just noticed this as I was putting my wick in here. Let's see if we can get better zoom. It's going to be hard. It is so tiny. But you know what? It wicks perfectly fine. That's the crazy thing. Yeah, up underneath that deck here. I'll try to point it out so my camera's not going to pick it out. Underneath here, so where my flathead is under, there are these channels, 2 channels to be exact, and they go up to those little holes that I showed you on the deck here. So those 2 holes, there's 2 channels that correspond with those 2 holes. So juice comes down through here, out of the holes from the bottom, and it goes into this little area here, and it goes vacuum pushes it up to the deck, to the coil. That is how that works. Trust me on that. That's how it works. It's kind of hard to not explain, but just show on camera and whatnot. So that's that. I guess since we're here, you can watch me assemble this together now. I'm just putting my bell or wall, whatever you want to call this bottom area here, right on. Boom. And then I've got my coils nice and saturated. I got my wick going down just like that. And then you just take your stem, chimney, whatever you want to call it, and that just threads right on. Like so. There we go. That is the build deck area, to be honest with you. That's pretty much it. Now, as far as the tank sections I'm going to use, I'll show you how it would look for me. Actually, you know what? Let's go the other way. Let's show you what I'm not going to use, because then the last assemble will be for me. You could use the M tank here, which I haven't used yet, but that just threads on like that. And then you actually aren't using any of these pieces here. Well, you are using that. You're not using this piece here, which is the bottom portion. I don't know if you're actually using this piece either, to be honest with you, because I haven't. No, you're not. So you're not using those two pieces, the top, the bottom, and the top piece. You're just using this section which we assembled earlier, and that just, yep, pops right on like so, and it just threads in. You do it carefully because this is plastic. And we'll go over the capacities again later on, but that is kind of what you're going to get if you use the M-Tank section on it, just like that. So let's take this apart, and I'll show you what it's going to look like with the stainless section, because that also I'm not using. Now, stainless section, you're going to use this piece here with the O-ring in, and that's going to be going upwards. That just threads on. Again, the threads are just great on this. And then you use your stainless steel section, and that just sits in there, just kind of hold it together for now. And then you put this top section in, and again, I got it right? Yeah, that will just sit there. So just hold it all together, because nothing is holding it down. And then what you're going to do is take this little nut that we were talking about earlier, and that just goes right on. It'll thread onto the threading that was on top of the chimney right there, It just threads right on. And what I do is I do it as far as I can with my hand, then nip it up with a pair of pliers. But I'll just do it with my hand so I can take it off easy. Then you take your top section, boom. And that is the look you'll get if you want to go all stainless steel. God, focus. That is the all stainless steel look right there. And then, the way I like to personally run it, let's take this apart. It's like no squeak into this threads whatsoever. And undo this nut first. Then guys, guess what? After we put the glass in there, we're going to fill it, vape it, because I need a vape. You know what? Let me get a vape real quick. Alright, much better. So we'll take these sections out. You're not going to need this piece, obviously. And we'll get our glass. Same thing. Just sits right in there. Top section just sits right in there. Remember, the O-rings should be pressing up against the tank, or the glass, whatever section you're using. Then take your nut. That'll just screw right on. A little hard to screw once it gets in there, but you'll get the hang of it. Okay, that's as tight as I get it with my hands, and then just come in and grip it. It's got those two flat spots on that nut, which make it easy to grip and tighten. Don't overdo it. You don't want to smash your glass. Just to ever so tightly. And we'll get another nip here. Okay. Boom. Now we'll take the top cap. That just threads right on there. But before we do that, let's fill her up. And now me get her on a device. Here we go. Look at the eye stick sitting close by. Let's get her on a device. Alright. And now to fill her up, I don't know why I did this. What you're going to want to do always is close off your airflow. So grip the knurled area here, this nut area, and turn it clockwise. Just turn it clockwise. You'll feel it stop. Or you'll feel it get tight, I should say, because you can actually keep going and you'll pull out the build section. So yeah, you'll feel it stop there, and it's stopped. And that means it's closed. The airflow is closed. So when you're filling, you want to make sure your airflow is closed. And hold please, because I have no juice near me. Alright, I got my jumbo bottle of juice right here, just freshly opened. Tranquility Trauma. It's my all-day vape, so it's my best way of judging, you know, flavor on this thing. And really, it's that easy. Oh, I just hit my camera. Over. Just keep that top cap off and spill juice everywhere. And just dump it in there. You don't even have to put it in the holes, to be honest with you. It's the first time. Alright. And just go until you start seeing juice. Boom. We'll call that good. As soon as I see it get past those holes, or I see it start coming through those holes, I call it full. So, there we go. Alright, so then after that, like I said, you have your juice flow closed, so you don't have to plug no holes up or nothing. Just put your top cap on. Catch the threads first. Come on. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Just tighten that up. We got a little juice that came out because I probably overfilled it. Okay. Juice on my finger. And there we go. Filled up Kayfun V4 assembled. Those are all the parts, the look, everything. Alright guys, I'm done talking down here. Let's go up to normal view and wrap this one up. So, you now saw all the pieces that go into this, and it can be stripped down even farther. That's the sad thing. There's O-rings and things that come out, insulators that can come out. I showed you as far as I was willing to go for this video, for the sake of this video. Now, what I didn't show at the end of the up-close segment was I had the airflow closed, the juice flow control closed, because I was filling it. And what you're going to want to do after you fill it and you seal everything up is you're going to want to open that juice flow control. So let me close it again, and I'll show you how I open it, or how you're supposed to open the juice flow control. Let's fix the focus because we know we're gonna have problems here. Always do. Alright, so when you're done filling it and everything's closed, your juice flow control is closed. Take the bottom section, grip it. What I do is I grip the knurled little nut here where the airflow holes are. Just grip that and turn it counterclockwise until you can't turn it no more. Boom. That's it. It's open. Then you may attach it to your mod, and you're good to vape. Some other things that I want to touch on before we get to my final thoughts on it. Another great thing about this is you can take your build out without draining juice. The old Kayfun, you had to dump your juice out, take the build out, and start over. This, you don't have to do that. You actually grab it by the knurled section here. And I'm going to turn it upside down so I don't drop everything everywhere. I'm just gripping it from the knurled section. Because if you grip it from the section below, that will do your juice control. So I'm by the knurled, and then watch that. Boom. There's your build. And your juice remains inside of here. Boom. There you go. Look at that. And then you could fix your build, maybe change your cotton out, and then just, again, screw it in from the knurled section. And what I would have done, which I didn't do like an idiot, but it is upside down, is closed off my juice flow control before I did that, just in case any flooding were to occur. But since it is upside down and all the juice is this way, you don't really have to worry about it. But to be safe, just close off that juice flow control before you do that, and you should be good. And then you could adjust your build. You know, fill her up from the top, obviously. Boom, boom, boom. Just shoot your juice in there like I showed you up close, and that's it. And then the last thing you need to know is your airflow. Your airflow is going to be underneath this screw, and let's just get the focus back. So just take your flathead here, undo your 510. This is a negative in my eyes. It is just annoying. It's just, I understand some things have to be done a certain way to get things to work, but it's an annoying con, and I mean, I'm allowed to voice my opinion, so. Then take your 510, you won't be able to see it, but there is a screw, which I think I showed in the up-close portion, underneath here. So you just take your screwdriver inside there, and what I do is I put it up to my mouth until I just keep tightening or loosening until I find that preferred draw. Then you take your 510, and I haven't found that the airflow comes off, like it stays on the setting you set it for. So that's great too. So do that once, and if you're like me, you find your airflow and you like it where it's at, you don't mess with it again, then you won't have to do this often. Just do it once and forget it. Then I'll put it back in my mod, and I'm going to have a vape real quick. You hear how quiet that is? Oh, I keep forgetting my speaker's over here. It sounds like a Kayfun, but it's quiet. And the airflow on it, I don't know if you can hear that, but it's smooth. It doesn't whistle. Let's see. Let me get my other one out, which is flooded. And there's no battery in there, so that's not going to work. You can kind of hear that whistle the old Kayfun made. This doesn't do that. The airflow is just really smooth on there. I really like the airflow on it. I don't like how to set it, but airflow is really good. Let's talk about pros and cons with this. Pro, 29 bucks, 30 bucks, you know, in that range for a clone. The original goes for, I think, 150 euros, which is like 200 and some dollars US. I don't know the exact currency conversion on that, but $200, $30 for the clone. Quality feels top notch. I haven't used an authentic, so I couldn't tell you compared to an authentic. Hefty, feels solid, feels substantial. Threading, great on here. No issues with the threading. Vape quality. How does it vape compared to the old Kayfun? Just I don't have a hair. I'm not gonna pull out one of my hairs, but a hair better. A hair better. It's not worlds difference. If you're not nitpicky like me, you probably won't notice it at all. But it is on par with the old Kayfun, and a dash of pepper, or a dash of pepper, a pinch of hair, just a pinch of hair. I don't know, a piece of hair. God. Better. A sliver. Rambling. Yeah, so the vape quality is exceptional. Man, what else is great about this? How you fill it. How much easier it is to fill. I can close off the juice flow, so you're not going to flood it when you fill it. Instead of having to cover all the holes with your fingers and then fill it and then turn it upside down and seal the top cap like the old one. You don't have to take out a pesky screw on the bottom to fill it. Stuff like that. You know, it's a positive. The look in my eyes is great. I love the look. I kind of like how it's 22 millimeters down here, and then it bows up to a 23, and then it goes back down to 22. I like that. A lot of people don't like that, but you know, it's preference. It's personal preference. I like that look. I mean, if you don't like that look, you could use the PCM polycarbonate tank that comes with it, and that will just make it a straight 22 all the way up. So you have that option also. The fact that it comes with 3 different tanks. The metal, the glass, the polycarbonate, and the stainless steel section. those are all positives. Nice drip tip. I like the drip tip. I like the airflow. I know I've missed a few things, but overall, I like it. I mean, it's a great device. The negatives. The biggest negative was that wobble I had. It was right here. I can't show you because I tightened up that screw and I wasn't going to leave it loose because it's a pain in my ass. But right here, this ring would wobble up and down, side to side, when I didn't adjust that little slotted screw that I showed you earlier about that slotted screw. If you don't have that tightened, this area will wobble. And you'll think it's a 510, but it's not. It's in here. So tighten that little slotted screw and that'll fix that. It's a negative that, you know, it comes to you like that. It comes loose and you'll have to fix it. The other negative was the machine oil. Caked with machine oil. And I mean, I took it out of the box and I smelled it. And I was like, oh. And not only that, I felt it and it was greasy. It was just grimy and greasy. So I washed it in denatured alcohol. I soaked it in there for a while. I put it in hot water. Then filled it up and everything, and it still tastes like machine oil. So I stripped it down again, did it again, and then finally it started to taste right. So you are going to have a lot of cleaning to do when you do get this. I'm not complaining about it because it's $30. I'm just letting you know it's there. That's all the negatives. The machine oil and the wobble on it, because the threading's good. Nothing seems to get stuck. It's good. And I think over time I will be buying a bunch more of these. Oh, another negative. It didn't come with O-rings. It didn't come with spare O-rings or spare screws or nothing. So if you do damage one, you're kind of screwed. I mean, not really screwed. There's going to be other ones that come out that are going to include the spares. You could, if you were in a pinch like right now and you got it and you broke something right away, you can go on Slow Mesto's website and they sell a bag of screws, O-rings, the positive block. They sell the insulators, the other screws like the little nuts that I showed you earlier, Durlin pieces. They have all of them. They sell them in bags for like €8. I don't know what it is, like $20 US. But if you're in a pinch and you really need them, you can go do that. But the clone, I'm sure the clones will be coming out with O-rings and stuff later on. So that's the other negative. But besides those three, I mean, yeah, I will be buying a few more of these. Probably from Tobeco, maybe from some other manufacturers, so we can compare all the different ones. Like, stop focusing again. God damn it. So yeah. Oh, God, this video looks like it's going to be about a 40-minute video. I need a freaking haircut, so excuse my messy hair. Oh, capacity, or sizes and dimensions. There's so much to mention. I'm on Kayfun's website, Slow Mesto's website, because for some reason Tobeco's not listing the specs, or at least I can't find the specs for it. And since it's a 1-to-1 clone, they should exactly be the same dimensions. With the steel window here, it's going to be 57.5 millimeters in height. I believe that's including the drip tip. Now with the polycarbonate, so that's the plastic tank, it's going to be 57.9. No, sorry, wrong dimensions. 55.5. So you're going to lose 2.5 millimeters in size, which means you're going to lose some juice capacity in there also. And then with the glass tank, which is what I'm using, it's actually a smidgen taller. It's 57.9. So juice capacity is going to vary. I can't find anywhere online right now where it's telling me the different capacities, but I know other reviewers have mentioned that all three tanks vary the capacity of juice that go in here. And it's all made of, what was it made of? 304 stainless steel. And again, it's 22 millimeter, and then it goes up to 23 millimeter, and back down to 22 millimeter. And that's it. I think I've covered everything. I know I'm going to go back and say, oh, I forgot to mention that. But let me have another vape and we'll end this. So guys, for $30, $35, even $40, this is a steal. It is significantly lower in price. I was going to do some crazy, I was going to say it's half the price, but it's not. It's even less than half the price of one. You could buy 6 or 7 of these for the price of one authentic. And I'm not knocking the authentic whatsoever because I know he deserves, Slow My Soul deserves all the credit for the authentic. But this clone is spot on good. I mean, if the original Kayfun is as good as this, I don't have an original Kayfun V4, so yeah, very good vape. Very good vape. Let me compare it. Last thing, sorry. Again, I keep thinking of things as I go on. I don't do a script, so let's compare it to the old Kayfuns. Let me get I have a Kayfun 3.1 here, which is one of my first Kayfuns that I ever got. And this is actually an authentic. I got it in a trade a long time ago. So boom, there it is next to in 3.1 Kayfun. This is not the light version. You can see that the new Kayfun is shorter than the 3.1. Not by much. A little bit. And then if we compare, and remember the Kayfun 3.1 is the big daddy. It was the original, it's the big boy. Then the light came out, which was the shorter guy. And here's the light with a polycarb tank on it. Let's see if we can get this all lined up nicely. So hard to do like this. There we go. Boom. And that's it next to the light. And for my eyes, the new one is just slightly taller than the light. So yeah, that's a comparison in size there. And here's what it would look like on some different devices. This is it on a 30mm 722. Just looks big and massive. And then where's a mech? Here's a mech. There's a mech. Here's what it would look like on a 22mm mechanical. Just tighten that up. That's what it would look like on a Nemesis clone. Oh my God. There we go. That's what it would look like on a Nemesis. Not bad, actually. It's just nice and flush and even here. Then it gets bigger up top. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad in 22mm devices. Honestly, I like the look. I like how it looks. I really do. And that's it, guys. Highly recommended from me. I'll put it back here in my Hannah clone, which is just kind of where it's been living right now. I have some other things that's going to be going on soon. I'll have a vape, and that will be it. Thank you all for watching. I hope some of this information was helpful. If you have questions, I know it's a lot, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. If I forgot something, let me know. I'll be happy to tell you the correct information. And remember, I'm not a professional. I'm a hobbyist. I do this for fun, and I'm trying to do service to tell people about good products out there. So take that in mind. Anyways, guys, again, thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed to my channel, you may subscribe with the subscription link somewhere down there. And I'll put links and everything to what I've talked about. Till next time, live well and vape on.
With the pain that I bring, you know it's only the beginning. Step up, 'cause you're the next one, and not the kill. You don't believe it, but I'm there.